Oh, there you are, YouTube. Doodle 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 do. Subscribe if you're interested, but also no pressure. The Golden Globes were tonight, and we're going to cover those wins. The Golden Globes are not the Oscars. And really, the Golden Globes have nothing to do with predicting the Oscars, except maybe with the speeches that are given. But the voting body is completely different. The Golden Globes are just journalists from around the world. And the Oscars, while they have become more international, are basically a very large body, but like a Hollywood, the people within the industry that make the movies primarily that are voting. So it's completely different people. So you can't really use it as a predictor of what's going to be nominated or what's going to win. But I feel like sometimes the speeches can sometimes sway, and I think that did happen today with one of them. Like secured, I should say. I think the nomination was probably already going to be there, maybe, but I'm wondering if we have a win here because the speech was so on point and wonderful. But let's go over some of these categories, shall we? First off, we have, and this is not the order they were presented in the show, this is just how they are currently on goldenglobes.com. Is this confusing if I'm wearing an Oscar hat? Maybe I'll turn it around. Or maybe we'll go to my favorite movie of all time, Hook, and we'll wear it backwards where it says Bangarang right there. Okay, so what we have here, some of these I will go over the nominations and the winners. Other ones I'll just go through the winners, but here we have Best Performance in a Stand-Up Comedy on Television. I don't remember this category. Is this the first time this has ever happened? Because as it was happening, I was like, what? I don't remember this category. Is this the first time it's ever happened? I think maybe so. Here are the nominees. Adam Sandler, his stand-up special was called Love You. Ali Wong, called Single Lady. Jamie Foxx, What Had Happened Was, which is funny because me and my college buddies used to say that all the time. What Had Happened Was. Nikki Glaser, who also hosted the Golden Globes, and I think she did a pretty good job. I think she did it. She did the job, right? It wasn't, like Ricky Gervais level to where everybody's going to be talking about it, but she got us through the awards, and I thought that was good. So that was cool. She was nominated. Was it Rami Youssef for More Feelings, and then Seth Meyers for Dad Man Walking. I was thinking if you want to get eyes on the screen, you should have Adam Sandler win. But they didn't have Adam Sandler win, they had Ali Wong win. And I watched a movie with her one time. Keanu Reeves was in it, and it was a really good movie. But I haven't seen any of these stand-up specials, so I can't tell you anything about them, but wouldn't it have been funny if Nikki Glaser would have won because she was hosting. That would have been fun, I think. All right, next we have Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Supporting Role on Television. Now, I haven't seen any of these shows. Stuff like La Maquina, The Bear. Actually, I do watch The Bear. And then Shrinking, Slow Horses, Monsters, and then Shogun. The actor from Shogun won. Let me see if I can do my best with his name. It's not a name that I am used to saying. Tedan Obi Asano. His win was so good. I loved his speech. He was so excited. He was like, none of you know who I am, but this is the best present I could have ever been given, and I start work back tomorrow, or something like that. It was such a good speech. I loved it so much. So that was Best Male Actor in a Supporting Role on Television. Next, we have Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Limited Series, Anthology Series, or a Motion Picture Made for Television. And that went to Colin Farrell for The Penguin. Other people that were up were Andrew Scott for Ripley, Cooper Koch, I think, for Monsters, Ewan McGregor for A Gentleman in Moscow, Kevin Kline for Disclaimer, and Richard Gadd for Baby Reindeer. Now, I have not seen a single one of these shows, but I was rooting for Colin Farrell because I have a lot of friends that are a fan of that show, and I've heard them say that it is some of the best work that HBO has put out since The Sopranos, which I think is really awesome, and that it transcends the superhero genre and works as a show on its own rather than as a comic book adaptation. So I think that's great. Oh, okay. Moving on. Next we have Best performance by a female actor in a supporting role on television. Have I seen any of these shows? Yes, I have. So Allison Janney for The Diplomat, Dakota Fanning for Ripley, Hannah Einbinder for Hacks, which is a show I absolutely love, and I believe I have probably reviewed every episode, either every episode, if not every episode, episodes and seasons, or seasons. But I do love that show. It's one of my favorite shows to watch on television. I love shows and movies about stand-up comedy. Okay, Jessica Gunning, Baby Reindeer, and she was the one who won. And then Callie Reese for True Detective. My wife has watched that show and she really enjoyed it. And then is it Lisa or Liza? Liza Colin Zayas for The Bear. I have watched that show as well, and I do like her character on the show. I probably would have voted for, out of the two of them though, Hannah Einbinder, but Jessica Gunning won for Baby Reindeer, and my wife has a lot of friends that really love that show. I have never seen it, but I trust their opinion, and it's one that we've considered watching. We just haven't done it yet. Next, we're going to take a look at Best Performance by a Female Actor in a Limited Series, Anthology Series, or Motion Picture Made for Television. We have a bunch of film actresses here that are in television performance here. Cate Blanchett for The Disclaimer, it's just called Disclaimer. Kristen Milioti for The Penguin. Heard a lot of great things about her character. Jodie Foster for True Detective. Again, my wife watched that and thoroughly enjoyed it. Kate Winslet for The Regime. Never heard of it, but Kate Winslet is a major star. Naomi Watts, major star for Feud, Capote versus the Swans. I can't remember if I heard good or bad things about that, honestly. I think I remember watching the trailer for it and thinking it was look good. And then we have Sofia Vergara for Griselda. I saw the trailers for that and that looked really cool. Jodie Foster was the winner, which was exciting because I like her as an actress and other things that I've seen her in. I have not watched True Detective, but my wife has, and she liked that series. We both like that series. She's watched more of the seasons than I have, and she did like this season. I don't think it was her favorite season, but she did like it. Next, we have Best Performance by an Actor in a Television Series, Musical, or Comedy. Here we have Adam Brody for Nobody Wants This. Nobody's ever heard of it. Jason Segel for Shrinking. I have heard of it, but that's as far as that goes. Jeremy Allen White for The Bear, which I do not see as a comedy, even though I laugh every once in a while. To me, it is a drama. Martin Short, Only Murders in the Building. That one, I'm sure, is most likely a comedy, and I'd like to watch it someday. Steve Martin, also for Only Murders in the Building. I would like to watch that someday. And then Ted Danson for A Man on the Inside. I think I've seen one trailer for that. I probably would have voted for Martin Short just because I think he's hilarious, and then maybe Steve Martin because I also think he's hilarious, and then Jeremy Allen White because I saw that season, and that season I did enjoy, but it didn't have quite the punch that some of the other ones had, so I would knock it down for that. And he's been winning a lot, and I feel like the show has, or at least this most recent season, wasn't as strong as some of the other ones, but I did really like it. I did think it was very good, but I don't know. He just wins everything, and it's kind of like, I don't know, why don't we give one to Martin Short? Why don't we give one to Steve Martin, even though I haven't watched that show? Next, we have Best Performance by a Female Actor in a Television Series, Musical, or Comedy. We had Ayo Edebiri for The Bear, who I love on that show. Jean Smart for Hacks, one of my favorite shows. Catherine Hahn for Agatha All Along. I have not seen that show, and honestly I don't know what my friends think of it. Kristen Bell, Nobody Wants This. I really like Kristen Bell and stuff, but I have not seen that. Quinta Brunson for Abbott Elementary. Oh man, love that show, love that show. It would have been hard not to vote for her. You know what, I probably would have voted for her, honestly. I think I would have. And then Selena Gomez for Only Murders in the Building. The winner went to Jean Smart, which I am extremely happy about. Love Jean Smart. Have ever since Homeward Bound, which is one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. Hook is my number 1, but Homeward Bound is up there, and she is in that film. And that might be the first time I ever saw her in anything, but she is so good in Hacks. Really love that show. And this most recent season was off the chains. Good. The ending was so great. I can't wait to see where the show goes. Next, we have Best Performance by an Actor in a Television Drama. We have Billy Bob Thornton in Landman. Never heard of it. Donald Glover for Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I've heard of it, but only with Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Next, Eddie Redmayne for The Day of the Jackal. All these people are movie actors in my mind, so it is wild to be reading their names off for a television series. Gary Oldman for Slow Horses. Never heard of it. Hiroyuki Sanada for Shogun. I primarily know him from cinema as well. And then Jake Gyllenhaal from Presumed Innocent. Oh my goodness, all of these people to me are movie actors. Cinema, big screen, silver screen, theatrical actors. But here I'm reading their names off for Best Performance for a Television Series Drama. And the winner was Hiroyuki Sanada. I know him. I know him from I think a bunch of things, but right now John Wick 3 or 4 is coming to mind. He's great. So I'm very cool with that, and I haven't seen any of these shows, but out of all of them, Shogun is the one I guess I would say I know the most about, because I watched the trailers for it and I thought it looked like a really good show that I would like to watch, but also it's a commitment and I don't have a lot of time. Got that full-time job, got those twins, and I share a television with everybody in the house. So it's tough getting to the stuff that I want to watch. Next, we have Best Performance by a Female Actor in a Television Series Drama. We have Anna Sawai. I wish I knew how to say that. I apologize, for Shogun. Emma D'Arcy for House of the Dragon. Oh yeah, love House of the Dragon and Emma D'Arcy so much. Kathy Bates for Matlock. Then Keira Knightley for Black Doves, Kerry Russell for The Diplomat, and then Maya Erskine for Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Here, I want to go back to House of the Dragon. I feel like, didn't that win Best Drama last year? This most recent series felt so flat, and is that the only nomination? Emma D'Arcy, is that the only nomination that was given? I'm wondering, because I feel like I don't remember hearing House of the Dragon anywhere else, and actually just reading it here, and I was watching the show, it's surprising because I feel like I didn't hear anything. But that show, I love, I'll keep watching it, but I did feel the second season was not as strong as the first season, so that's interesting because I think it did win last year. And I think I'm remembering that right, or I'm thinking of the SAG, but I'm pretty sure Golden Globes gave it that win. But anyway, the winner here was Anna Sawai. Can someone help me in the comments on how to say that? I apologize. For Shogun. And her speech was so short and sweet. It was so cute. Loved it. And I don't know, I just, very, very beautiful person. Like, I feel like I got a crush on her just from her speech. I want to watch the show. Beautiful woman. Okay, next we have Best Television Limited Series, Anthology Series, or Motion Picture Made for Television. We have Baby Reindeer, Disclaimer, Monsters, Ripley, The Penguin, True Detective. I probably would have given it to The Penguin, again, because I have a lot... Well, one, I just like superheroes. I have some friends that like the show who have said wonderful things about it, so I'd be rooting in support of my buddies. Then True Detective, also because my wife watched that and she really liked it. Though it wasn't her favorite season of True Detective, she did like it. The winner there was Baby Reindeer, which I have not seen. Next, we have Best Television Series, Musical, or Comedy. We have Abbott Elementary, a show that I absolutely love and might have voted for. Then we have The Bear, which I do not see as a comedy, so I would have disqualified that. And then Hacks, which I do see as a comedy, which is very funny, and I might have voted for that. I probably would have coin flipped Abbott Elementary and Hacks and gone with wherever the coin landed. Those two shows are great and some of my favorites that are on TV. Then we also had Nobody Wants This, which I haven't watched, Only Murders in the Building, which I haven't watched, but I would like to, and then Gentlemen, which I've never heard of. But Hacks, so good. Love it. Next, we have Best Television Series Drama. We have The Diplomat, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Shogun, Slow Horses, Squid Game? What, the first one? That seems like that came out 100 years ago. Why is that being nominated right now? That's weird. I need to learn more about that. And then The Day of the Jackal. Why is Squid Game in there? I feel like that first season came out so long ago. Why would that be nominated this time around? Someone help me out with that. Make it make sense for me in the comments below if you know the answer there. The winner was Shogun. Again, a show I would like to watch if I can find the time. Next we have Cinematic and Box Office Achievement. This was a wild category here because Vin Diesel was the one who presented, and I believe this is the first time the award has ever been given out. And Vin Diesel was out there, and what did he do? When he started walking out, I was like, oh, to my wife. I said, oh, this is going to be interesting because Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, is in the audience. I wonder if he's still in his seat or if he left for this, because the two of them have a feud, a beef going on. And then when Vin Diesel goes up to talk, he goes, hey, Dwayne. And I was like, oh. My wife was like, oh. And we were like, awkward. It was so funny. And The Rock was just kind of like, you know. And then, you know, everybody knows. Everybody knows they got that beef going on. I don't know if it's still going on, I guess. But it had happened. But that was interesting to see. But I do like that Vin Diesel was out there presenting, especially if this was the first one. I like Vin Diesel a lot. I think, you know, he has a reputation for being not too cool, showing up late and stuff like that for things. But, you know, I also know he's a very busy man. So maybe that's part of it. I don't know. We don't know everybody else's life. But, you know, I guess if you make a commitment to show up, you should show up on time. But anyway, Cinematic and box office achievement, here were the nominees. Alien Romulus. Thought that movie was really fun. It tipped the hat a little too much to previous films, but I still really liked it. Also, Beetlejuice. I really liked that movie. Not as good as the first one, but I did like it. Deadpool and Wolverine. This one, I was wondering, will this win? Because it made a Billy, and that's cool. And Hugh Jackman had that comeback and in the role of Wolverine, and it was just, I don't know, it might still be my favorite so far of 2024. I have a lot of movies to catch up on, but I don't know, it might be my favorite. Next we have Gladiator 2, which is weird that this was nominated because I understand it to be a like mild flop, but maybe I'm wrong on that. Then Inside Out 2. That was very good and emotional, and I don't know, I really liked that movie. I thought it was good. Then The Wild Robot. I haven't seen it, but the trailers looked amazing. It looks so emotional. I really want to see that movie. Then Twisters, which had good reception as far as I recall. I did not see it. Just because my wife is such a fan of the original, so much so that she boycotted this one. Then Wicked, which I kind of assumed was going to win based out of all of these, but I thought if anything could upset it, it would be Deadpool and Wolverine. But Wicked took the world by storm. People were getting kicked out of the movie theater for singing the songs in it. People were dressing up for it. It was just a really big deal. And also the director of the movie, he gave a speech during this, and I just loved his enthusiasm and passion for filmmaking, fandom, and all of that. It was just so wonderful to see. I love seeing Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande on stage. I don't know. I don't know. I really do like that movie. It didn't blow me away, but it did in some ways because I was expecting not to like it, and then I did like it. And I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm very excited for the sequel. And for a moment, was like not even planning on ever seeing it, but then it started getting awards attention, and then I was like, it's probably going to get a Best Picture nomination for the Oscars, so I better watch it. And then I did, and I walked away really liking it, thinking I was not going to like it. All right, moving forward, we have Best Original Song, Motion Picture. We have the song titled Beautiful That Way in the film The Last Showgirl. Then Compress Repress in the film Challengers. Then El Mal from Emilia Perez. Then Forbidden Road for the film Better Man. Then Kiss the Sky from the film The Wild Robot. And then Camino from Emilia Perez. And the one that, so I didn't know any of these songs, but from when they were giving us a little sampling of them, El Mal played, and I was like, that's the one I want to win. I like that one the most out of all of these, and it ended up winning. So El Mal from Emilia Perez, which I believe is on Netflix. You can watch it there. I need to watch it. I think it's going to do pretty well at the Oscars in terms of nominations. I don't know. Probably going to win Best Foreign International Film. Well, we'll see. It's probably going to. But I don't know. I'm excited to watch it. I haven't watched it yet. All right, next we have Best Original Score Motion Picture. We have Clement Ducal and Camille for Emilia Perez, then Daniel Bloomberg for The Brutalist, then Hans Zimmer for Dune Part 2, then Chris Bowers for The Wild Robot, then Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, who worked together on one of my favorite movies, The Social Network. They did the score for The Challengers, and then Vocal Bertelmann for Conclave, which had an amazing score. Such a good score. I love that score so much. It was so good. And also, from the sampling they gave us, the Emilia Perez score was very good as well. And actually, The Brutalist as well. And you know what? I liked all of these scores. But the one that got me the most excited was The Challengers. And guess what? That's also the one that won. So Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross won. I do love when they work together. I love when they work on their own. Atticus Ross did The Book of Eli, and that I love that score. They did Gone Girl. I love that score. So yeah, if I were to coin toss this though, I would have like the two I would have struggled over. Like which one do I write down? It would have been Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross for The Challengers, and it would have also been Volker Bertelmann for Conclave. I thought Conclave had an amazing score, used sparingly, but so impactful. Loved that score so much. All right, let's move forward. Okay, Best Screenplay, Motion Picture. We had Brady Corbett and Mona Fastvold for The Brutalist. We had Coralie Farguillet for The Substance. Substance, saw that recently on New Year's Eve. Then Jacques Audiard for Emilia Perez. Jacques, is it Jacques? How do you say that? Then Jesse Eisenberg, hello, from The Social Network, right? He played old dude Zuckerberg, founder of Facebook, for A Real Pain. And then Peter Strahan for Conclave, and then Sean Baker for Honora. Honora I've been hearing a lot about and was thinking maybe it could perform well here, but then as I was watching it, I was like, I don't know if that would win. I don't know if that would win. I don't know if that would win. And it didn't win anything. But what did win here was Conclave. Peter Strahan won Best Screenplay Motion Picture. Conclave. You know, I found the movie very gripping, very compelling the whole way through. But then at the end, it kind of felt like maybe like airport novel-ish. It felt very like just like fiction, I guess. I don't know, but I really did have a good time throughout that movie as we were figuring out what was going on towards the end. I found it incredibly gripping. Best Director, Motion Picture. We have Brady Corbet for The Brutalist, Coralie Farguillet, I'm saying these wrong and I'm sorry, for The Substance. Then Edward Berger for Conclave, Jacques Audiard for Emilia Perez, Pyle Capadia for All We Imagine Is Light, and then Sean Baker for Nora. I love Sean Baker, especially for Florida Project. That's one of my favorite A24 movies and probably my favorite Sean Baker movie. But the winner here was Brady Corbet for The Brutalist. Brutalist I'm very excited about. If you follow the channel, you might know that I myself am an artist, and this is a movie that talks about, you know, some of that, I guess mid-century modern art, and sort of how it made its way here to the U.S. in a way, but also like World War II, and I haven't seen it yet, but I heard it's very long. It's like 3.5 hours long, and I think there's an intermission, and I've never gone to the theater where there's an intermission, so I really want to see this in the theater so I can experience an intermission. I think that would be awesome. Okay, best performance by an actor in a supporting role in a motion picture. We have Denzel Washington for Gladiator 2. We had Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown. We have Guy Pearce for The Brutalist. We have Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice, Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, and Yura Borisov for Nora. The winner here was Kieran Culkin. That was really exciting to see. I really want to see A Real Pain. I can imagine myself really liking it. I think I like these kind of movies, maybe, depending on what it's like, because of the movie Sideways, which is one of my favorite movies, which you can see right there. But I could be wrong. Maybe that's not the same type of movie. But regardless, Kieran Culkin from Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2, I mean, you know, that's just awesome. And also Father of the Bride Part 2, and Succession, and you know, just he's got this great career, and I don't know, you know, he's just a little bit older than me, so it's cool, even though I look a lot older. What's with this gray? Wow, he is older than me, but I look older than him. But anyway, that was very cool to see him win, and his speech was fun. Okay, best performance by a female actor in a supporting role in a motion picture. We have Ariana Grande for Wicked, who I was rooting for. Then Felicity Jones for The Brutalist. We also had Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, who, sorry to say, I thought was a little forgettable. Margaret Qualley for The Substance. That would have been a fun one. Selena Gomez and Emilia Perez, which I have not watched yet. And Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez, which I have not watched yet, but I am excited to. And Zoe Saldana won, and that was very exciting because I do love her. I think I first saw her in a movie where she was like a ballerina. I think maybe James Franco was in it. Maybe the guy with the thick eyebrows from the movie While You Were Sleeping, he was in it. That dude is also in American Beauty, if you've ever seen that movie. But anyway, Zoe Saldana, loved to sing her, loved her speech. She was very emotional during her speech, but you know, I was rooting for Ariana Grande. But that's, you know, the one I've seen, and I saw Margaret Qualley also. But I don't know, I think just watching Wicked, I don't know, I fell in love with that movie. Fell in love with it. All right, next we have best performance by a male actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. We have Gabriel LaBelle for Saturday Night. Was he playing Lorne Michaels in that movie? I'm not sure. Was he playing Lorne Michaels? If you know, let me know in the comments below. I would assume, because it's best lead, right? Yeah, so I would think he was probably playing Lorne Michaels. Next we have Glenn Powell for Hitman. Never heard of it. Hugh Grant for Heretic, which I believe is a horror film. Jesse Eisenberg for A Real Pain. I'm so excited to watch that movie whenever I get the chance. Jesse Plemons for Kinds of Kindness, which I thought was going to be a bigger play during award season, but it's not. Haven't heard too much about it, interestingly. Then Sebastian Stan for A Different Man, and then Sebastian Stan was the winner here. And I like what he's doing with his career. He's in these MCU movies, but then when he's not in those, he's doing these unique, maybe even risky projects that you wouldn't expect somebody who's, you know, making mad bank in the MCU realm to do. So that's cool. I like all these independent things that he's been doing. I haven't seen this movie yet, but I am interested in seeing it. Next, we have Best Performance by a Female Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy. We have the nominees are Amy Adams for Night. Do I swear on this channel? I don't in my own life. You know what? It's about a dog in the film Night Bitch. And I'm referring to a dog. Amy Adams for that movie. Cynthia Erivo for Wicked. Powerful, so good. Then we have Demi Moore in The Substance, which I watched on New Year's Eve, which was so interesting. And I've been like, you know, knowing it was getting awards attention, I was like, yes, go, you know, leave no crumbs. Just keep going. Like, win these awards, go for it. Horror, body horror, no less, with practical effects and makeup, even though the movie just goes so wild at the end. To know that people in the award circles are interested, go for it, go for it, go for it. Yes. And even after I was watching, I was like, how do I even feel about this? Like, it was this wonderful art film, and then it went so strange at the end to where it felt like some sort of just like a trauma body horror film or something. And I was like, what? But I don't know. The more I sit with that movie, the more I like it. But anyway, Demi Moore for The Substance, then Carlos Sofia Gascon for Emilia Perez, then Mikey Madison for Honora, and then Zendaya or Zendaya? I can never remember. For Challengers. And the winner here, exciting news, it was Demi Moore. And her speech was so good. And this is what I was saying at the beginning, where a speech can maybe tip you in that winning spot. Like, I think, yes, probably getting that nomination anyway, but then here, with her Golden Globe speech, Academy Award members hearing it, she's been around for a long time, has a lot of friends in the Academy that may circle her and vote for her. I think maybe this speech and the performance and who she is, but the speech whoosh, may have tipped her over into the win. Wouldn't that be amazing? And if I have to eat crow, I will, but that's where I'm sitting right now, is thinking not only is she getting nominated, but I think she could win that Best Actress, which would be cool. Let's say she's not in there and I had to pick somebody else, I'd pick Cynthia Erivo, but I have not seen any of the other films, so I need to see those other films. But Demi Moore, I am rooting for you. All right, let's continue our quest to go over these these Golden Globes. All right, next we have Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Motion Picture. We have Adrien Brody for The Brutalist, Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing. We have Daniel Craig for Queer. We have Ralph Fiennes for Conclave, Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice, where I believe he's playing Donald Trump, and then Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, where I believe he is playing Bob Dylan, who I saw in concert. Worst concert I've ever been to. He didn't play the guitar once. He just played piano the whole time. And then he dropped his harmonica and he was crawling around on the floor like looking for it. I mean, that was cool because it was like, oh, this doesn't happen every time. But he didn't pick up a guitar. There was a guitar sitting over there. There were like 3 of them or something like that. And he didn't pick up one of them. Didn't pick up one the whole time. So I've never seen in person Bob Dylan play guitar. But I've seen him play piano and harmonica. All right, guess who the winner here was? It was Adrien Brody, which I am very excited about, and he gave a great, wonderful speech. Adrien Brody, I remember he won for The Pianist, the Oscar for The Pianist. And here, this is where I'm getting at with this. I would love to see him win the Oscar here. Now, I need to see some of these other movies. I have seen Conclave. Actually, that's the only one I've seen. But and Ralph Fiennes is very good at it. But Adrien Brody, he is the youngest person to ever win the Best Actor Oscar, the youngest ever, which can sometimes mean you peaked early, sorry kid, you don't get another chance. And here, I love that he's getting all this attention for The Brutalist, and I would love it for him to get the nomination and also the win. And his speech was very good. I think it would be. I think it's possible, and maybe a lock. I don't know, for a win, which I think is so cool. We just got to make sure people watch this 3.5 hour long movie, and that's a big ask. I understand that's a big ask, but I just, I remember like after The Pianist, I remember going to, a couple years later, I was going to Family Video to rent movies, and then I saw him in these straight to DVD movies. And I was like, what is going on? This guy's an Oscar winner, and he's in straight to DVD movies. I know him from this, I know him from that, and now he's in straight to DVD. It was years ago, and I was like, what the heck? And it just kind of seemed like he was ousted out of Hollywood for a little bit. And maybe there's stuff that I don't know is going on, and, that happened. I don't know. But it was just like was it like a you peaked early kid, no more? And then, he guess he was showing up in some Wes Anderson movies and things like that, but and maybe other things that I'm not watching. Apologies to Adrian Brody, but if I just for the youngest person to have a Best Actor award, for him to come back and then maybe win that Oscar right there, that's exciting to me, because it's a showcase of you didn't peak early. And that's the same thing with Demi Moore. Hers is in some way a comeback story, but I loved her speech where she talked about, she said, I was told I'm a popcorn actress and I'll never win awards. And that's not for me. You're here to bring money to the industry through big budget movies that perform well at the box office. And here she is making an art film that says a lot, and also very risky and goes places I'd never expect an awards movie to go. And she's winning a Golden Globe and probably going to get nominated for an Oscar, and in my eyes right now will win the Oscar. And I love that. And I also like that for Adrian Brody, a guy who hit it as the youngest person ever to win actor. And here he is all these years later. He still looks young though. He looks amazing. I'd say he looks younger than me. Where'd all this gray come from? I'd say he looks younger than me, and he's probably, I don't know, 8 years older or something like that. I've never looked into it. How old is Adrian Brody? If you know, let me know in the comments below. But I just like the idea of him coming back, and if he wins, he'll know I didn't peak early. I still got it. I'm still an artist, and my peers see that. That's cool. That's cool to me. Next we have Best Performance by a Female Actor in a Motion Picture Drama, and we have Angelina Jolie for Maria, we have Fernando Torres for I'm Still Here, Kate Winslet for Lee, never heard of it, never heard of I'm Still Here, actually I think I maybe have, Nicole Kidman for Baby Girl, Pamela Anderson for The Last Showgirl, and Tilda Swinton for The Room Next Door, never heard of it. I've only heard of Maria, Baby Girl, The Last Showgirl, and I was hoping for The Last Showgirl to win, because wouldn't it be so awesome if Pamela Anderson, pulled like a Mickey Rooney and then like won a Golden Globe for a role so similar to The Wrestler. Like, oh gosh, I haven't seen the movie yet, but based on everything I'm hearing about it from synopsis and things like that, and her interviews, and I want to see it, and I would love to see her get nominated for an Oscar. Pamela Anderson. I mean, she used to open Tool Time on Home Improvement. Wouldn't that be awesome? I had a Baywatch folder when I was in high school. Was I in high school? A Baywatch folder. My mom let me get all these Baywatch folders. I had Pamela Anderson on my folder. I think they were for college kids, but my mom let me get them. She bought them for me at Office Depot. I had Yasmin Bleeth, and I had Pamela Anderson, and I don't know, was Carmen Electra there too? No, was she on that show? I don't think so. I remember the Yasmin Bleeth one, and I remember the Pamela Anderson one, and I used those as my folders in junior high. I probably still got them somewhere in my storage bins over here, and I thought I was the coolest dude in junior high having those, and I just think it would be so cool for Pamela Anderson to. I wish I was really rooting for her to win the Golden Globe. She didn't win, but to get a nomination for an Oscar would be amazing, and I really want that to happen. All right, next we have Best Motion Picture Non-English Language. I have not seen any of these films. I most likely will see Emilia Perez. We have All We Imagine as Light, which I've not seen. Emilia Perez, which I have not seen, but I probably will because access to it I know is very easy. And it'll probably get a Best Picture nomination at the Oscars. Next we have I Am Still Here, have not seen. The Girl with the Needle, have not seen. The Seed of the Sacred Fig, have not seen. And Vermiglio, which I have not seen. The winner, Emilia Perez, was Zoe Saldana, Selena Gomez. I'm excited to watch it because the music has just been so cool, and I really love seeing Zoe Saldana in projects. I think she needs more credit for being the sci-fi queen of the era for things like, I'm talking about, Avatar. I'm talking about things like Star Trek. I'm talking about things like Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm talking about things like, I think Losers, was she in that movie? But she needs more credit because she is the sci-fi queen of our era, but nobody talks about it. All right, next we have Best Motion Picture Animated. We had a movie called Flow, which is about a cat. Inside Out 2. Memoir of a Snail, which was a stop motion movie if I remember. Moana 2, which I heard nothing about, but I'm pretty sure it made a billy. Then The Wild Robot, which I thought the trailers looked amazing and they made me tear up. Wallace and Gromit, never been into that sort of animation there. Stop motion. I like stop motion, but not Wallace and Gromit stop motion. And guess what the winner was? It was Flow. I think maybe it's French. Is that right? Was that a French film? No. It wasn't French. Was it Latvian? He was Latvian? I can't remember. If you remember, let me know in the comments below what was Flow, but it was about a cat, and I don't know, I really want to see it. I was expecting Inside Out to win. Inside Out 2 did not. I also thought maybe Wild Robot was, but I was remembering after those didn't win, I was like, you know what, this is the Globes. It's international journalists. They're gonna, put attention on non-American films. So, very cool. I'm very excited to watch that little cat film, as I think the director put it. All right, now we got Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy. We got movies like A Real Pain, which I'm so excited to watch. Honora, so excited to watch. Challengers, haven't seen it. Emilia Perez, haven't seen it, but I most likely will because I think it's going to be nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. Then The Substance, which I saw on New Year's Eve, which was just like, whoa. And then Wicked, which I really enjoy. Now, I've seen it twice now, actually. So I guess here I would say I was rooting for The Substance just because it's so weird, or Wicked just because I had such a fun time with it. Emilia Perez was the winner. Also, I think they need to change the title of this category. It's called Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy. I think they need to just call it genre, not drama, basically. Just call it genre. So, because like Substance, is that a musical? No. Is it a comedy? No. It's body horror. It's horror. But they still shoved it in here, right? Where maybe it should have gone in drama. But, just call it genre. And then Challengers. Maybe you call that a sports movie or something. Honora, is that a comedy? It just looks like a drama to me. A Real Pain looks like a dramedy, I guess. But I went laughing, like we're out here laughing, like we're watching something like Tropic Thunder or 40-Year-Old Virgin or something like that. That's what I want to see in these types of things. Like Emilia Perez makes sense because it's a musical. Wicked makes sense because it's a musical. But for comedy, I want laughing comedies where we are laughing. All right, here we go. Best Motion Picture Drama, the big award of the night. Previous one is a big award also, but this is the other big one. And we have a complete unknown, which is the Bob Dylan movie, and then Conclave, which is that Catholic movie with the popes or trying to select the new pope. Then Dune Part 2, which I guess would be a genre movie, right? So it should go in the other category if they were to change the names. Then The Nickel Boys, I've only seen the trailer for that. Then September 5, heard of that for the first time while watching the category. And then The Brutalist, which is the Adrian Brody film about the architecture and architect. What's his name? Toth? I should know. It's just not in my head right now. The Rolodex in my brain is not working. But guess what won? It was The Brutalist. Hello. That's really exciting to me. I don't know. I think just because I know it's about an architect, it's about art, it's about survival, immigration, just, I don't know. It seems like in my art history classes, you learn so much about escaping the war, coming to America, and then the way art flourished when that happened. And I don't know. I'm excited to see that movie, and I hear it's so long and it has that intermission, and I really want to see that. So I don't know. I was very happy for it. Even though I haven't seen it, I've seen Dune Part 2 and I've seen Conclave. Out of the two of them, I probably would have picked Dune Part 2 just because of the sum of its parts, and it has many parts, right? Because it's science fiction and has so much going on. Although Conclave looked really good also. It convinced me it was the Vatican. Maybe it was. I mean, there's probably a lot of CGI, but it was blended so well you didn't see it, you didn't notice it, right? And I like that kind of CGI, where you're watching a movie that takes place in our reality, and the CGI is so well blended that you don't notice it. Where Dune does not take place in our world. So the CGI, even if it's very good, we still identify it as CGI because we know it's not real. Because it's not of our world. It's just a little easier to pinpoint, right? Fake, 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 fake. Where a movie like The Social Network, you ever see that movie? Lots of CGI in it. And it's just about a kid in college, right? Creating a huge social network platform. A lot of CGI in it, but you're not sitting there being like, CGI, 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 CGI. You know? So anyway, Best Motion Picture Drama went to The Brutalist, and I thought that was very exciting, and I cannot wait to see that movie. I don't know how I'm going to watch it. I just don't think I'm going to find the time to see it in the theater, unfortunately, which I would really like to because I really want to experience an intermission in a movie. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts were on the Golden Globes. Did you watch the Golden Globes? How did Nikki Glaser do? What did you think about her? What did you think about Vin Diesel and The Rock? I thought that was very exciting. Tell me some of your favorite wins. Which of these movies have you seen? Which ones are you excited about? Which ones do you think are going to move on to win the Oscar? How influential do you think the Golden Globes are towards the Oscars? At all? None at all? Maybe a little bit? What's it based on? The speeches? The win? What do you think? I'd love to know. Let me know all of that in the comments below. And perhaps we'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout.